All right, boys, we are finally back here with our NHL 23 Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. The last few weeks for me have been pretty chaotic with finals finishing up and then, Christmas and things like that. Got to spend time with the family. Had to go to a funeral, so some things definitely got in the way of that, but we are back once again, and I'm going to take you guys through what happened last time because it's been so long. You can see our harrowing journey to in the Stanley Cup playoffs here and see what happened. So we took round one against Vancouver. We took that in 7 games. I believe we were down 3-1 in that series, or maybe 3-2, something like that, and we ended up winning in 7 games. Then against the Abs, I was getting nervous because we all know what their team looks like, but we ended up prevailing over them in only 5 games, which is nice to see. And then injury trouble hit us. So I believe that Josh Morrissey and Jonas Brodin both got injured, or were both injured at some point in the Anaheim Ducks series. I think we finished our last game without either of them, so that was a tough one. We went to 7 games. We pushed them to 7, but unfortunately we did fall to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. I guess they're not the Mighty Ducks anymore, but the Anaheim Ducks did beat us in 7 games. Then they went to the Stanley Cup Finals where they lost to the Florida Panthers. So let's look at Florida's journey. Florida beats Tampa in 5. They beat Boston in 7. Carolina in 6, and then the Ducks in 6 as well. So a pretty good journey for Florida. It was also a pretty good year for us, as I will show you the awards around the league. We have the Stanley Cup champions, obviously the Florida Panthers. We did win the President's Trophy, so that's a little notch in our hats there, a little something to be proud of for sure. Looking at the individual awards, the Art Ross Trophy went to Brad Marchand, as did the Hart Trophy. The Norris goes to Cale Makar, the Lady Byng to David Pastrnak. So Boston's team really cleaning stuff up. The Calder Memorial went to Ridley Gregg here. Very interesting to see that. Conn Smythe to Barkov. Vezina goes to Peter Kochetkov, the Jennings as well. Unfortunately, Connor Hellebuyck was not quite good enough to win either of these 2 trophies, but it is what it is there. The Bill Masterton goes to Yanni Hakanpää. Jack Adams to the coach of the Washington Capitals for the 2nd straight year. The Selke goes back to Ryan O'Reilly, Ted Lindsay to Marchand as well, and Maurice Richard to Alexander Ovechkin. So that is what the trophies look like out there in the NHL. Now let's take a look at let's go look at player stats, because I know it's been so long, so let's just refresh our memory. So Mark Scheifele had himself a season, as did Kyle Connor in the playoffs here. They were both plus 10, plus 11 as well, which is very nice to see. That 27 points, things like that. Then we put Gabriel Velarde up to the top line, where he produced quite well. He was point per game, 19 points in 19 games. We put Nikolai Ehlers kind of on his own line, down there on the second line with like Cole Perfetti and a mix of other players, Blake Wheeler and Jonathan Toews and people like that. Josh Morrissey played well. He did get injured later in the playoffs, I remember that, so only played 17 games for us, but 13 points is pretty good for the playoffs for sure. Cole Perfetti, a little bit slow from Cole Perfetti. He has dropped to an 84 overall. He used to be 85. We give him that big deal after year number 1, so I'm hoping he can grow a little bit more. That's why we got Blake Wheeler for him, because in the regular season, Blake Wheeler had 68 points and helped Cole Perfetti get his career high with 63. So I'm hoping he can jump back up, Cole Perfetti. Jonathan Toews, I'm not sure if he's going to come back. He's 37, but he did go up to an 86 overall. Even if he drops to even if he drops to 82, 81, he'd still be a good 4th line center for us. So Jonathan Toews might be coming back. Adam Lowry, definitely coming back for sure. Nino Niederreiter, I think I'm done with Nino Niederreiter. The Nino Niederreiter experiment, I think, is over. Although he did have 45 points this year, 27 goals. He's decent on that second unit power play kind of guy, playing like 3rd line time. It's pretty good 3rd line numbers, actually. I don't know. I just don't think I'm too sold on Nino Niederreiter, but 45 points is a pretty good regular season. Didn't really show up for us in the playoffs, though, unfortunately. Chris Tanev is a very interesting one. Chris Tanev, he has dropped to an 83 overall throughout the course of the season, so that's bad. But he was a plus 40 alongside of Josh Morrissey. They were the 2nd best duo in the entire NHL, behind obviously Cale Makar and Bowen Byram. So I don't know, because Josh Morrissey had a crazy season with Cristiano there, so I really don't know if I want to split them up. But that's another thing I gotta have to look at because his overall is gonna start dropping. Right now he still has 4 stars on defense, but I mean his shooting 77 accuracy, so it's not good. His puck skills are low, but his physical and his skating and his defense are up there, and that's really all I care about. So I'm not sure about that one. Jeff Petrie is probably gone. Neil Pionk is an interesting one because he wants a boatload of money. So he's an offensive defenseman who only scores like 30 points. Yeah, like he scored 27 points and 32 points. So his average is like 29 points with us or something like that. Iafallo, another interesting one. He only had 2 points in 10 games, which is unacceptable, but he is an 85 overall, listed as a second liner, so I don't know. David Gustafsson is here. Morgan Barron had a great regular season with 36 points, career high, but then a horrible postseason. So you see, we have some weird guys in here for sure. Jonas Brodin, no points, only played 8 games. That's right. Jonas Brodin was a long-term injury guy. I forgot about that. And then between the pipes, Connor Hellebuck staying here for quite some time. He had a 906 save percentage, 3.04 goals against average. But I believe that in the earlier rounds, he was lighting it up for us. So not going to complain about that. Okay, and for some reason, I think maybe just because I haven't recorded in forever, but as I'm editing this, I actually realized that I forgot to go through the comments. So if you're new here, we go through the comments on every single video just so that you guys can get a chance to actually put your insight into what goes on here with the team. So let's get right into those comments. They are from a few weeks ago because of the big break, but either way, we're going to start with Alexander, who says, what a run. Not going to type anything else for the spoilers. He says that he would re-sign Ehlers, Iafallo, Pionk, and maybe Niederreiter, and then the RFAs and see if there are any better options to replace the rest of the people in free agency. If not, then you can maybe resend the vets that you would like. As always, thank you for the great entertainment, Kronos. Well, thank you very much for the kind words. That was a heck of a run. Proud of the team and proud of the GM. Thank you very much for the kind words, Alexander. Again, because I did this while I'm editing and not actually while I was making the video, I'm not going to give you any spoilers. So I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave the comment there. Do appreciate the kind words as always, and I definitely agree with what Alex is saying here. Next up, we have a comment from Doug who says, great run, dude. Nothing to hang our heads about for the draft. I'd take Datsuk if because he had better ratings in all the categories. The defense still needs some work. You definitely need another high-rated D-man, especially when injuries seem to cripple us in the Western Conference Finals. Yes, that's right, with Josh Morrissey and Jonas Brodin there. He then says, good luck and great video as always. Then he says, before I forget, for the OT gameplay, could you flip it to true broadcast to make it look like you are actually watching on a TV? I can definitely do that the next time we jump in, Doug. Thank you for those kind words, as always. And then we have another comment from Danica Smith, who says, this just shows that the real-life Winnipeg Jets are that close to holding the trophy. And exactly, we haven't really made any crazy changes or anything like that. And the Winnipeg Jets have made it to the Western Conference Finals in this universe. So Jets fans, do not despair. Anything is possible, and we're going to try to get you one this year. But now, back to your usually scheduled programming, man. Oh my goodness, can't believe I forgot to do that. Alright, so now that we've looked at the stats and who won the Stanley Cup, it is time to get into the draft, where I will show you guys what the game plan is. Okay, so we have Vesa Allen. We're not going up to any of these like top spots. We have the 30th overall selection. None of these guys want to go, although I am interested in Ludwig Backstrom just to see how a medium league grinder would simulate. That would be kind of fun to see. So I either want, these are two guys, I either want, where is he? Yeah, Stefan Backlund, who is a low elite right-handed sniper. Oh, sorry, he's left-handed, but he's a right winger sniper. So that's my first option there. And then my second option is Melvin Barker from Denmark. I believe that is also a sniper, but he's a left winger and he's only 1 year away with Relentless. The reason I want Backlund is he's got the potential at low elite, no X factors, 3 years away, kind of a normal prospect. He is 17 years of age as well, whereas Melvin Barker also 17, but only 1 year away. So kind of pick and choose. Do you want the potential or do you want the overall? I like either of them. If I can get my hands on either of them, that would be very nice. So it's just going to depend if there's a pick available, like if somebody wants to trade a pick basically at like 20, 19, 20, 21, if one of those guys want to trade, then I will go for Stefan Backlund. So those are my two main options at the moment. And other than that, there is a medium elite player that we are going to take in the second round. It's going to be Ivan Datsuk here, who is 19 years old and only 3 years away, listed at medium elite. There's also Larry Vosenar, who is 5 years away, though, as the same age, so I would prefer Ivan Datsuk. Also, Datsuk is a, legend, much better name to say than Vosenar, so those are the reasons behind that. Other than that, I think there is a trade that I might be making because of, let me see Neil Pionk's contract demands. I believe it's like 6 million or something in that ballpark. What's Nikolai Ehlers at? Nikolai Ehlers 7 mil. 7 mil might be worth to go after right now. Or sorry, 9 mil for 7 years might be worth to go after right now. Let me see. Neil Pionk wants, he wants $6.275 million per year. I don't know if we can do that for Neil Pionk, who's been giving me 30 points a year. So we might have to go out and acquire a different defenseman, which I'd be definitely willing to do instead of Neil Pionk. So that could be interesting. And other than that, we're gonna have to look at Chris Tanev in the off season. He wants about 4 mil. Okay, that's reasonable. Gabriel Velarde wants about 3 mil. That's also reasonable. Okay, so we can make it work. We can definitely make it work. The biggest one obviously is going to be Nikolai Ehlers here, who wants 9 mil or so. So let's get into the draft and let's see who the top kind of guys that go are. And then I will check out the trades and things like that. So with the first selection here, the Los Angeles Kings decide to select Vesa. Is that his name? Vesa? Yeah, Vesa Allen, medium elite playmaker. Decent stats across the board, good skater, and with 4 X-Factor abilities there. Detroit picks up Alex Ranford. No X-Factors, but look at that shooting category. As a sniper, he's got 90s across the board. Okay, Buffalo now selects Joel Shepard, defensive defenseman, 4.5-star defense, 3-star skating, 3-star physical. Okay, it's okay. He'll be a decent defensive defenseman for sure. Michael Misa here goes to the Philadelphia Flyers as a playmaker with 87 passing, good shot power, but low shot accuracy. And he's got some X factors on him, so that'll be a good player for them. We'll just do the top 10 here. Roger McQueen, a playmaker for Seattle. A lot of medium elites coming into the league here in year number 3. Jordan Gavin, another playmaker with 5 X factors for the kid. Dallas picks up Carl Trigg, playmaker. So a lot of playmakers coming into the league here. And then Ludwig Backstrom, the grinder, goes to the Arizona Coyotes. He's got 3.5-star physical, 3.5-star skating, and 3.5-star defense. Throw him in your bottom 6 right now, Arizona. I want to see that for sure. Then we get to the medium top 6s here. Dmitry Nabokov goes to the Nashville Predators, 2-way forward. And then last but not least, the Chicago Blackhawks get Adam Bennick, a playmaker for their center depth there. He can be their second line center of the future, perhaps. So our pick that we need to select is 23. Now, nobody around there wants our pick. So I'm going to try to make a deal with the Vegas Golden Knights here at number 20. See if they are willing to trade me really anything for this. They don't want our pick and they don't want to give away their pick, which is going to make this pretty difficult here. They want Cedric Pittis, who we drafted last year in the second round, excuse me. He's only a 66 overall. He's not really growing very much. I want to see more out of Cedric Pittis here. They also want some other guys. Let me just make the deal if I can. Okay, guys, I don't think we're going to get that deal to go through just because of how Vegas is. Like, they don't want to give that pick up at all. I gave them, I kind of threw in some other prospects and picks, like some medium top 6 type players like Chisholm, and there's one more guy, I forget his name, but I could not get Vegas to really budge from their first round pick, and I don't want to give up like seconds and thirds from next year because I'll show you guys our draft capital. This year is pretty depleted, and I'm not really liking how it feels. We only have 5 picks. Next year we don't have a 4th. We do have our 7th though, so we just give up our 4th, so I'm not too worried about that. But with not too much draft capital this year, I wanna try to draft with our later picks next year. So I don't want to give all of those away. And I definitely don't want to give up a 2nd or a 3rd in a year where we might be taking a step backwards, as much as it hurts to say it. So we will go up. Actually, can I trade up a little bit though, just to guarantee the other guy like to 26 with the Avs here? Let me just check. Okay, so we're going to trade up a few spots here. We're going to give them Jeff Petrie, who is not going to be coming back with us. We traded for him at the deadline. He was like an 85 overall. He's now dropped to an 83. He was pretty good with us. I think he was a he was a plus 17 in the 70 games that he played with it. Wait, he played 70 games for us? Maybe was he a free agency pickup? Or no, he was a trade earlier on in the year. I remember that now. But we got he was a plus 17 with us, so that's pretty good. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be using him in the future, so we're going to trade him over to Edmonton. Will they accept this deal? They do accept it, so that is a good deal for us, I think. And it's going to allow us to acquire at pick number 27. We unfortunately do miss out on, where is he? Yeah, Stefan Backlund did actually go at 20 as well. So Stefan Backlund, very good selection for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's a right wing sniper with 3-star shooting. Okay, so definitely a good shooter there. Gabriel Dagla goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Maybe a potential Marc-Andre Fleury. You don't want to say that too early in a kid's career, but either way, we are going to pick up now Melvin Barker. He's got relentless. He's 1 year away. A left wing sniper. He lacks size, reach, and he's got a bulk up, but he's got that pro release, hard shot, and skating. So what do you say with our first selection of the 2025 NHL entry draft? The Winnipeg Jets are proud to select from Hamlinka HBK in the Liga, Melvin Barker from Denmark, I believe. Here he is 74 overall with 4-star shooting, 3-star skating, 2.5-star defense, 2.5-star puck skills. But that shooting category up there at 4 stars, and that's all I care about. Okay guys, and after that pickup, we're going to keep the momentum rolling here with hopefully some more good moves. And Neil Pionk, he's a Winnipeg Jet for life so far, I think. No, he was with the Rangers. What am I talking about? Of course. He's with the Rangers a few years here. Then, Winnipeg picked him up. He had a great first year with us, but then 30 points ever since. Not bad at all, but definitely not worth $6 million like he's asking for. He blocks a lot of shots, doesn't really hit. In the real world, he definitely does, but in EA land, does not hit at all. Giveaways and takeaways. You're a defenseman though, so that kind of is expected. And he only had 3 power play points last year, despite being on the 2nd power play the entire year. So we're gonna get him, or I think we're gonna trade him for Esa Lindell here from Dallas. A little bit older, but he's more of a defensive player. I know we don't really need much more defense on this team. Plus, he's got 20 points around per year, which is something, it's okay, but he's more of a defensive player for sure. But I just think this is more for a money move. Like, we just can't afford to give Neil Pionk $6 million on our team. So that's why I'm going to trade for Esa Lindell. He's hopefully going to want a bit less because he's not producing at the same rate he is in the real world, I don't believe. Let me just check. Yeah, like 24, 25 points, where it was 17, 20 points before that. He even had a 30-point season in the real world. So Esa Lindell, I think he would be a good addition to the team. They don't want to trade him, but his trade value is so down because he doesn't have a contract going into next year. So I think this is a pretty good hockey deal, 1-for-1. What do you say to this, Dallas? They will accept this deal. Okay, so nice, just a little swap of assets there, but it's going to free up some cap space for us of the future. All right, so we welcome Esa Lindell to the team, and then we're going to simulate to pick number 62 here, where we will select our next player in the 2nd round here, and it's going to be Ivan Datsuk from Russia. So let's just get right up to the podium with our second selection in the 2025 draft. The Winnipeg Jets are proud to select from the Russian League Ivan Datsuk, 2-way forward, a left winger, 19 years old, 192 pounds. Welcome to the Winnipeg Jets organization. 63 overall, medium elite. And his stats, probably very low for but he's 63 overall, so he's not exactly going to be a lights out player. Does have good puck skills, of course. His last name's Datsuk. He has to. He'd be able to dangle people out of their socks. And we will definitely take that for sure. Okay, moving on to our 94th pick here. And this is going to be, you know, there's not really many guys down here that I like. You'll see a fringe starter, bottom six. Oh, medium top six defenseman could be okay. Low bottom six forward, medium top nine forward. A lot of these kind of guys, like these fringe NHLers, until we get around here to Ludwig Lidstrom, who is listed to go at 108th. He's a low top six forward, 5 years away, so he's not going to have great overall. But at a low top six, he could have some trade value here. And there's a few other guys that we can select as well. But I think for the most part, when you're looking at guys you want to pick up, I think mostly the top guy is usually the best. He's also 18 years old, so he's the youngest he can be in this position. So I think we're going to go with Ludwig Lidstrom, a center from the SHL, from the Vaho Lakers, the Vaxtro Lakers. I'm not sure how to say that, but that's okay. We're going to pick up Ludwig Lidstrom here from the SHL. Welcome to the team at a 56 overall. You know, definitely low, but you're not going to get much better than that when they're listed 5 years away, so we will take that selection. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of trading up here. I'm going to just trade up for the Red Wings 130th pick. We have the 158th pick as our next, so just trading up in the same round. We're going to trade Kyle Capobianco, who, decent player. He played 3 games for us. He had a point. He was a +1. You know, definitely played in the AHL quite a bit down there, but he's just a depth defenseman. We can get one on league minimum, you know, in free agency, so nothing to really write home about there. They're going to reject it. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Detroit. You also are thinking like a human like me, so that's interesting to see. We can also give them this guy here, Bongiovanni, Wyatt Bongiovanni. He was undrafted, two-way forward. He has some potential, I suppose, but he's not going to be anything. Let's throw him in the deal as well, and they will accept it on behalf of the Detroit Red Wings. Thank you, Stevie Y. And now we will simulate to pick 130 here. And with this selection, I will be taking Matthias Ackerman from the SHL. What's that team? Timra-Ik from the SHL? I don't know, man. I do not know. I'll just stop attempting these names. But Matthias Ackerman, he's listed as a gem, low top for defenseman, 18 years of age. Scouts have him going around 127. We've got him here at 130. So maybe we get some value out of him. Maybe we don't. Who knows? But Matthias Ackerman, welcome to the Winnipeg Jets organization, my friend, at a 54 overall. Two-way forward. What do his stats look like? About a star or half a star for every category. That's pretty much to be expected. And I think that might do it for the draft. Let me just check. Okay, guys, I'm going to pull the trigger on this trade, I think. I think it'll go through. I'm going to give them a 6th-round pick for Brock Besser, who they're not going to re-sign. That's the reason why he has such low value. They're not going to re-sign him. He's listed as a sniper, and I think he could really help out that second line with, like, Cole Perfetti, Brock Besser, and then, say, like, Gabriel Velarde or somebody like that. So I'm going to do that trade, I think. I think it's a good one. You know, I have seen, or I've kind of like went back and forth with the argument in my head where why would Vancouver give up Brock Besser for nothing, basically, like a 6th-round pick? Why would they help out another team and only take on a 6th-round pick? Like, it doesn't really make sense. But if they don't have the cap space for him, if they don't think they can keep him, you know, it does make sense why they would want to trade him. They do have, who do they have to sign? They have to sign Andrei Kuzmenko here, and then they have to sign Brock Besser, but if they don't want to keep him around, I mean, they don't want to trade him, definitely, but they have to sign Beauvillier, Mark Giordano, Vasily Podkolzin, Danton Heinen. They have quite a few people on expiring deals. Nobody that's going to cost too much money, though. They have Mike Hoffman, Aturatu might want some money. I don't know. It's something that's I definitely can see both sides of, and something that I'm open to definitely people disagreeing with and, you know, calling me out for it being unrealistic, because I do think there is an aspect to it that is unrealistic, but I think Brock Besser would help us out so much. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to take Brock Besser back, but then our forward core is a bit log-jammed, okay? So I'm going to give them the rights to somebody else. We're going to swap rights, and I'm going to give them a 6 to make it a little bit more digestible. So somebody who's not going to come back, especially because he's got the same role, he's in the same position as Brock Besser, is Blake Wheeler. So I'm okay to trade Blake Wheeler out for Brock Besser with a 6th round selection. I think that is much more fair now. I think it's pretty hard to argue that I am just totally fleecing them and it's totally unrealistic. We're swapping players. They get a 6th round pick. They also get Blake Wheeler a chance to sign him on. So will they do it? The trade value is definitely in our favor, but let's see what they say. They accept it. They're going to be cheering in the streets when we announce this deal. Fair enough, Vancouver. Have fun with Blake Wheeler in that 6th round selection this year. Look forward to seeing you probably in the playoffs or something like that. So that is it for our draft. We will sim the rest of the draft, and let's get to the re-sign stage now, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, we'll see an overview of our draft here. We got Melvin Barker as our 1st round selection, like a 74 overall sniper. Ivan Datsuk out there as the medium elite, 60-something overall. Then we got, what was his first name? I don't remember. But Lidstrom at low top 6, and then Matthias Ackerman at a low top 4 defenseman. So good little draft from us. More quality over quantity for us, but that is a-okay by me. We have some coaches to sign, we have some scouts to sign, and we have some players to sign. So let me get to it. And oh yeah, I forgot, we gave a contract to Laurent Brossoit, so he re-signs that deal, which is great for us. All right, so here we are at the re-sign stage, my friends. And we've got some big names that we have to re-sign. We have $34 million to do it. And oh, goodness gracious, Nikolai Ehlers. We should have signed him to that 7-year, $9 million deal. I wanted to see if his value would go down, but definitely did not. So that probably be a problem. He wants about $9 million. Okay, Nikolai Ehlers. So what do we give him? We could give him a 3-year deal at 9.2, like, I don't know. It's going to be like the same amount of money no matter what. So just what kind of man, he wants 8 years. I can't do 8 years for Nikolai Ehlers. 6 years takes him to 35 years old. 5 years to 34. We can do 6 years for Nikolai Ehlers, I think. I think a 6-year deal at like 8.9 mil is fairly reasonable, but let's get some other guys out of the way here first. Jonathan Toews to be our, yeah, he wants 5 mil. Oh man, this is going to be rough. What about Brock Besser? What does he want? He also wants quite a bit of money. Okay, so a swing and a miss here for sure. This is the thing, right? This is why I don't think it's too unfair to sign a guy like Brock Besser. It's not guaranteed. We could have just traded Blake Wheeler and a 6th round pick for nothing, because I don't know if we can sign him on that type of a deal there. Iafallo also wants 5 mil, right? So yeah, so we're gonna have to make some cuts here for sure. Esa Lindell, how much does Esa Lindell want? He wants 3 years, 5 mil. Okay, that's reasonable for Esa Lindell. That is very reasonable for Esa Lindell. 3 years, 5 mil. He can be our second pairing defenseman pretty much, right? Because we can go Morrissey with Tanev again, then we can go Brodin with Lindell. I think that's fair. Chris Tanev, how much do you want? He wants 1 year, 4 mil. That works for me. So we'll get the defense sorted first. 1 year, 4 mil for Tanev, and 3 years, 5 mil for Lindell. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, that's about 9 million on our defenseman, and that's pretty good. So 9 mil on the defense leaves us with $25 million to spend on our forwards. Okay, so 9 of it is going to Nikolai Ehlers. Yikes, this is going to be rough. Okay, so I'm looking at our forward core here. We've got Kyle Connor, who has to get an extension next year as well, so don't forget about that. Then we have Scheifele, and then Nikolai Ehlers has got to be their first line, like left winger or right winger or something like that. So that's going to be our first line. So I'm going to bring Ehlers back. Then Jonathan Toews does not want to come back, and he wants $5 million. Now, for a second liner, that would be great. For a third or fourth liner, that's too much. So I'm going to say no to Jonathan Toews for now. We're going to keep him there, though, okay? Now, Brock Besser, I kind of want on this team. I could see him like a 1-year thing at 5.35 mil, 5.3 mil. Then he could play alongside of Cole Perfetti. That could be nice. So Brock Besser, Nikolai Ehlers on the team. That's about How much is that? Well, 9 mil and like just over 5 mil. It's about $14 million. So we would have about $11 million left to spend. We'd still need to bring on these guys. Gabriel Velarde. How much does Velarde want? He wants 1 year, 2 point. Okay, that's a pretty good deal for Velarde. 1 year, 2.6 mil. Let's send that out. That's pretty good for Velarde. He was point per game in the playoffs. Remember that. So we can put him up there on the playoffs. Then Morgan Barron. How much does Morgan Barron want? 2 mil? Yeah, about 2 mil. Can we drop it to 1.95? Just trying to get these guys on some deals. Rasmus Kupari here wants 1 year, 9. Let's try 9.25. 9. Let's go 9.25. Rasmus Kupari. Do you guys want two-way contracts? Yeah, two-way contracts is fine. Vesalainen wants a two-way deal. And then all these other guys down here as well. So I do just want to kind of like clean this up just so I can see exactly what kind of money we're working with here. So I'll offer Nikolai Ehlers a contract, man. I'm not sure how much I'm going to offer him. Maybe 8.5. Let's see if we'll take 8.5. That's a pretty reasonable one. That matches him with Mark Scheifele. So let's see. Nikolai Ehlers, 6 years, 8.5 mil. I don't think he's going to accept this. But we can find out. Let's see. 6 years, 8.5 mil for Nikolai Ehlers. And then Brock Besser is the other guy I want to get on the team. And 5 years, a bit too much for me. I think 1 year deal. A 1 year deal at 5.3 mil for Brock Besser. 5.25 mil for Brock Besser. What do you say? So 8.5 for Ehlers, 5.25 for Brock Besser, and everyone else I can worry about a little bit later. What do you guys say to that? Let's see. Nikolai Ehlers says no at 8.5. Gabriel Velarde's on. Rasmus Kupari's on. Morgan Barron's on. Chris Tanev is on. Nice. Esa Lindell is on. Brock Besser's on. Okay. And then Fialbi's not on. Tony Donato is. Torgensen, Vesalainen. Okay, all these guys. Okay, so Brock Besser's on for 1 year at 5.25 mil. Well, that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. He can play alongside of Cole Perfetti for quite some time. Hopefully, if we can sign him onto a team-friendly deal. Perfetti, I need to see some improvement out of, which is why I picked up a guy like Brock Besser, who scored like 60 points or something. 66 points last year. So hopefully he can keep that up. So now we have $18 million to sign these players here. I definitely want Ehlers back. So let's start with Ehlers. 6 years. He didn't want 8.5. So let's bump it up to 8.775, okay? 8.775 for Ehlers. Leaves us with just under $10 million. So we can basically sign one of these guys and that's it. Pretty much. So Nino Niederreiter wants 3.4. What does our team look like without them? Hang on. So without either of those players, we have Connor, Scheifele, Ehlers. Good first line. Then we have Besser, Perfetti, Velarde as our second line. It's not bad, but I definitely would like a bit of a higher overall there. Okay, but Besser, Perfetti, and Velarde is not horrible. Third line now becomes Lowry, Barron, Kupari. Yeah, Lowry, Barron, and Nino Niederreiter would be much better. Okay. And then fourth line would be Gustafsson, Chaz Lucius. Oh yeah, I forgot Chaz Lucius can get in the lineup probably this year as well. And then Fialbi didn't like his contract. He wants a two-way deal. Okay, so I'll just bump it up. And then Fialbi can be a depth player. Vesalainen can be depth. Okay, so basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can have like 13 players, but I'm just a bit worried about that second and third line. I know our first line's good, our fourth line's whatever, but on that second line, man, I'm not sure. So we can always bring up Chaz Lucius to play third line time. Might be his time to try to get some growth out of him. Nikolai Ehlers will be on the first line. Then the second line would be Besser, Perfetti, Velarde, I guess. I guess it works, but it's not ideal for sure. Velarde's got good shooting, good defense as well. Yeah, I mean, he's a good player for sure. So why don't we see if let's see how many days do I have? Hang on. I do wish that they had like a countdown on days in that screen somewhere. We've still got a bunch of days. Okay, so let's go back to signing players. And let's see if Ehlers takes his like 8.775 or whatever it is this time. Okay, our coach is back. That's good to see. And then now we're gonna get some scouts, of course. And Nikolai Ehlers does not take that contract. Fialbi is back. Okay, so just the expiring deals now. Oh, I forgot. I still have to sign these like defensemen and stuff. Kniziev, how much does Kniziev want? Okay, he wants. Okay, good. We can get him at league minimum, basically. I almost just gave him like the max that we can give him. We can get him 2 years league minimum. He's gonna be playing this year, I think, as well, right? Because we're gonna have Morrissey, Tanev, Brodin, Lindell, Hinola. Yeah, Kniziev will be our 6th defenseman here, and you will get league minimum, so that's good. Chisholm, okay, we will qualify you. And Lundmark, we can sign you on for that. Anybody else down here? Sure, Bauer, what do you want? We can sign you on for league minimum. And okay, that's it with that. Let me just make sure now that all expiring players are on, or that we're thinking about them. Okay, so I think in a perfect world, we would sign Ehlers and Nino Niederreiter. Because the Nino Niederreiter can play third line time. He played it last year. He had a great year. He had 45 points, almost 30 goals. So that was a really big season last year out of him. So if he could do that again, was that a career year? Actually, no, it wasn't. 57 points in Minnesota, okay. But it was almost a career year. It was his third best season. No, it was the second best season of all time. So really good year for Nino Niederreiter last year. So I would like to bring him back. Nikolai Ehlers, but how old? But he's pretty old. I mean, he's not that old. He's only 32. Okay, Nikolai Ehlers, though, we need to get signed on ASAP. So 6 years. He didn't like 8.775. So what about 8.95 mil for Nikolai Ehlers? And then Nino Niederreiter we can get on a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal? Let's do 1 year for Nikolai Ehlers at 3.3 mil. What do you say to that? Let's see what these guys say now. We will obviously have some scouts and some other players signing on. Nino Niederreiter's back. Okay, we'll take that. And Nikolai Ehlers is back as well. Lundmark and then all these other guys. So we have $7 million. We could theoretically bring either Taze or Iafallo back. But the thing is, we would then just be basically bringing back the exact same team. And although we were a very good team, I think we have to make a little bit of some changes here. So we have, let's look at our forwards now. I know this is a long one, boys. I'm sorry, but this is really important stuff here. We have Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers signed on. Okay. Remember, we do have to sign Kyle Connor next year as well. We can look at that in this episode as well. What kind of contract he would want. So that's going to be a lot of money coming out of our pay books as well. But Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers as our first line. Great first line. Second line now becomes Brock Besser, Cole Perfetti, and I would say Gabriel Velarde, because we can't have three snipers on that second line. So Besser, Perfetti, Velarde is our second line. It's good, but Velarde feels like the odd person out there. So then our third line is Nino Niederreiter, Adam Lowry, and Morgan Barron. Pretty good third line. I'm happy with that. Fourth line, Rasmus Kupari, David Gustafsson, and Jonsson Fialbi. Also, we have Chaz Lucius. So Chaz Lucius could be on that third line instead of Nino Niederreiter. Nino Niederreiter drops to the fourth line, bumps up that fourth line even more, because I'm not playing Chaz Lucius on the fourth line. I just think that they won't grow. Like, if you put somebody on the fourth line, I just feel like they don't grow at all. So that's why I'm kind of adamant on keeping Chaz Lucius on the third line or higher. Also give him some power play time and hope that he can grow there. So our biggest gaping hole, I think, right now is our second line. And a guy like Jonathan Taze or Iafallo wouldn't really help out, because Taze, I mean, he had like 55 points with us last year playing third line time. Was he playing third line time? Yeah, he was. He was playing third line time. He had 55 points. It's really good. But I want somebody more in that like 60-point category there. And Iafallo with us, I mean, he's played second line time. Like this year he played kind of like third and fourth line time, and he had 39 points. It's good. And then last year he played, I think he played second line time exclusively last year. He only had 43. So Iafallo's not a point scorer, so therefore I'm going to get rid of him. But Jonathan Taze is very tempting. The only problem is $5 million. We would still have $2 million to play with. It's not bad at all. Definitely enough room to get it done. But then our whole line gets shaken up, because now Chaz Lucius doesn't have a spot if we bring back Jonathan Taze. It's because we brought in Brock Besser, really, is the real reason. And I brought Nino Niederreiter back, right? So that's the real reason. I think we have to make some changes, man. I think a really good left winger on this second line could really help it out. And Jonathan Toews is a centerman. He's a good centerman, don't get me wrong. 5 mil, he was +8 for, or +13 for us. Oh, it's so hard to say goodbye to a guy like Jonathan Toews, man. But he doesn't want to come back. He had 13 power play points for us. Takes it away more than he gives it away. He hits. He doesn't really block shots, but 60% on the faceoff rating is insane. He had a shorthanded point for us. All signs point to yes, to bring him back, right? But he's also old. He'll probably drop. Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. He'll probably drop in the offseason. He's 37. He'll probably drop to like 83. Can't have an 83 now. Okay, I just convinced myself with that. And Jonathan Toews, we thank you for your service. You were great for us. But I can't risk you falling to like an 84 overall. Yeah, even an 84 overall is unacceptable to be making like 5 mil on our second line when we can bring in a free agent for hopefully around 5 mil who can maybe help us out even more. So, Taser, I wish you luck in your future, but unfortunately, we're going to release you from the organization for now. Okay, everybody else just Chisholm, and then goalies, we can bring back Salmon. Okay, fair enough. And that's a rough free agency, man. But I do think we have to make changes if we want to get better. So we can't just stay stagnant all the time. If we brought back the exact same team, what's to say we're gonna be in the same place, right? I mean, we could even fall back. Like if we bring like the exact same team and then we don't make the Western Conference Finals, it's a failure of a year. If we bring in guys, we bring Chaz Lucius into the lineup, we bring in, I don't know, some free agent, we've at least made some changes there. But if we just keep bringing back the same team and keep losing, we've got to make changes every once in a while. So although it was a really good year for Jonathan Toews, he doesn't have a spot on this team anymore. Okay, and after double checking everything and seeing that we've got everybody signed on that we need, we're going to advance a day to free agency. Okay, that coach didn't want to sign on. That's fine. I don't really care about that. We've got all the scouts on. We've got the coaches that we need on. And now it's free agency time, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a look at who is available here. And oh my goodness gracious. So obviously Patrick Kane would be crazy on that second line, but can't really afford that. Okay, so let's go look at the forwards only. Let's also look at UFAs. And let's see what we've got here. We've got Kuzmenko wants 8.5 mil. Okay, that would have helped out the team, but obviously that's way too much money. He's also a sniper, so we don't need that on the roster. Tarasenko's out here. Robbie Fabry is somebody who's interesting to me, but he's a sniper as well, so we don't really need that either. Now, David Perron, he's also 37 though, right? So he's very similar to a Jonathan Toews here, where he's a second liner for this year, but he's 37. So again, he could just drop to like 84, 83 overall. He had 65 points, which is very good. The past 2 years, he's actually had 60 points. So good. He can really get it done out there, and he's a second liner for sure. So it's a good season for David Perron, but I'm just so worried about their overall dropping. I would much rather go with like an Igor Sharangovich. Now, although he wants more money, and see, you need to find that even balance. Sharangovich is younger, but he wants more money and he's not as productive, right? The older guys tend to be more productive in EA land, but their overalls will drop. So do you care about the overall? Do you not care about the overall? I don't really know. Also, Jamie Benn could be interesting. Only 35, so he's not as old as Toews or Perron. He also scored 65 points last year. The year before that, he had 54. What line was he playing on? He got 16 minutes time on ice per night. That's about second line, maybe third line with some power play. Takes the puck away more than he gives it away, and he hits a lot, obviously. So Jamie Benn could be a very interesting person. Also could be like that first line power play unit where he's just standing in front of the net tipping pucks. He fits the top 6 according to our scheme. I'm really liking Jamie Benn. I think he could be a really good addition to that second line. Other than that, Frank Vetrano's interesting as well, a younger option. Blake Wheeler's still out here. We could just bring Blake Wheeler back. Or we could bring in Nicholas Backstrom, 85 overall. It definitely will drop, though, to like 83, 84. And he needs but he would have 2 snipers on our team as well, on either side of him. He would have, like, Cole Perfetti on the left and Brock Besser on the right. It could be a resurgence for Nicholas Backstrom. His faceoffs are okay. His takeaways to giveaways are decent. Not a physical player, but like 55 points, 60 points is kind of the range I'm looking at. Nicklas Backstrom is interesting. There's also Max Domi down here if you want to take more of a stab at somebody. Younger player, 30 years old, not like super young, but still in his prime. He could play the left wing as well. Playmaker, 88 passing. He had 19 points in 51 games. So this would be more of like a project for us. We would be trying to, but only played 9 minutes. So 19 points, only playing 9 minutes. That's pretty good, actually. If we give him second line time, he might be up in the 50s. I'm not exactly sure, but that could be something that we look at least. Definitely something to consider is Max Domi. Then we get to 83s, and I'm not as interested in those guys. So the people that I'm interested in are, where are they here? Max Domi is interesting. Nicklas Backstrom's interesting. And Jamie Benn is interesting. And that's pretty much it. David Perron is also interesting. So basically, out of those three guys, who would we like to select? Because everybody else makes too much money. And there's a few different avenues to go down. We can go the veteran route, right? We already have our main guys. We have the Ehlers, we have the Kyle Connor, we have the Mark Scheifele's of the world. We have the Josh Morrissey, right? We already have those guys. So we just need big boys around them who can help produce as well. We need secondary scoring. Now, that's kind of why I got Brock Boeser, hoping that he can provide some for us. But if we need some more of that, I would be leaning more towards like a David Perron on the team. Left winger, he can play the right side as well. He can be the first penalty killer off the boards. He can be on the second unit power play. He's not a very good skater, but his shooting's up there, his senses are up there, his defense is up there, and he can score 60 points, right? But if we want more of a like a long-term piece, I would be more looking at the Max Domi of the world, where he's only 30. We can have him for 3 years, for 2 years, something like that, to play on that second line and get chemistry for more of like a future run, like 2 or 3 years down the road when everybody's still in their prime. Now Max Domi's up to like 86 overall, maybe. Or do we take the 1 year of David Perron or like Nicklas Backstrom? Now Backstrom I'm not as interested in, because I think Backstrom in this world and like the EA world really does like make use of Ovechkin a lot, and obviously in his career he did as well, but still one of the most underrated passers of the game, Nicklas Backstrom, and he did some crazy stuff in his career. But I think in EA land he only simulates so well because he's with Alex Ovechkin. So I think that's something to consider as well, which kind of makes me not want to put Backstrom on the team, and he's also old, so I'm not sure. We could bring Blake Wheeler back. He had 60-something points with us, like 68 points or something with us, so he had a really good year. Yanni Gourde, not too worried about. I think Max Domi might be off the table. I think we'll go for more of a veteran presence. The only thing I'm going to kick myself for is if we choose the wrong guy between Perron, Blake Wheeler, Nicklas Backstrom, and Jamie Benn. If we choose one of the wrong guys and whoever we choose like drops to like 84, 83, and the other guys stay at like 85, oh man, that's going to be rough. Okay, so I think I'm going to take Taze out of the equation. So we're going to look at Perron, Jamie Benn, and Blake Wheeler, essentially. But we're not going to look at Blake Wheeler because I just talked about switching things up. So we're not going to take Blake Wheeler back. Blake Wheeler, great player, former captain of our team. We loved what he did for us. We don't have the room for him, all right? So we're going to just look at Jamie Benn here or David Perron. Now, Jamie Benn is a power forward how much does he shoot the puck? Because that's another thing. Yeah, he shoots quite a bit, and I don't need another shooter on that line. He got 30 goals last year. We already have 2 snipers on that second line. Whereas David Perron shot the puck 168 times, so like 40 less shots. He had 25 points still, like a 25 goals, excuse me. He had 60 points. But he can get assists with almost 40 assists the last 2 years. He's also a plus player. Oh man, this is such a hard decision. I'm leaning towards David Perron. I'm definitely leaning towards David Perron. He also wants less money. We could go like 1 year. What would I want to give him though? Like 1 year 5.25, 1 year 5.3, just to make sure we get him. Jamie Benn does not want a lot of money though. Like it could be like a 1 year 4.6 mil. Then we would still have like $3 million to play with. We could try to get somebody like Cam Atkinson on the team, Ooh, decisions, huh? This is so... Okay, I'm just going to cut to my decision because I got to talk this out to myself. I've already been talking for like 10 minutes to you guys, like babbling in your ears. I know you don't want to hear that. So we're going to cut to when I make this decision. Okay, I think I've made my decision, and I think it's more of a fit decision rather than a points decision. Because if I was going with points, I would go with Blake Wheeler, right? He had... What is this, 68 points? 68 points last year for us. He was great. He was an amazing player for us. But I want to switch things up. Not only do I want to switch things up for you guys so that we have different lines, but I want to switch things up as the general manager. We made it far, but Blake Wheeler in the playoffs, what did he do for us in the playoffs? He was pretty good. 11 points in 19 games is actually pretty good. So I'm not gonna, degrade him. I'm not gonna bring him down. He was a good player for us. Just think it's about time to move on, okay? The Blake Wheeler era in Winnipeg is officially closed, I think. Nicholas Backstrom is tempting because he has a low salary and he had 50 points. He's also a playmaker in the center, would definitely help us out. But I think that Ovechkin factor is definitely something to consider. He's getting power play points. He's getting, just points because he's passing to Ovi. Things not in the real world, guys. Put down your pitchforks. I'm just saying in the EA land, in the EA universe, okay? So then it becomes between Jamie Benn and David Perron. And I think Jamie Benn is very, very enticing. He's a big body. I know Fresh would love that. He's a big body who can stand in front of that net, tip pucks in, get in the eyes of the goalie on the power play, things like that. Get in the corners, good old Canadian boy. Jamie Benn is a very interesting option. He's got great defense. He's got great puck skills, great senses, and shooting and physical. He's an amazing player all around. However, he shoots the puck a lot. 228 shots. It's like 60 more than David Perron took. And for that reason, I know that's not a big reason, but for that reason, I'm going to go with David Perron. David Perron, more of a passer. More of a, he's had, what's his highest career? He's had 50 assists before in his career. Granted, that was with Vegas and things like that. The norm is in the 30s range, 30, high 30s, mid 30s, like 35 to 39, I suppose is like his average. I think David Perron on this team would look really good. We have the veteran Perron with the very young Cole Perfetti, and then hopefully the guy who can bury it for us, Brock Besser, kind of try to ignite his career once again. Oh man. And this decision might come back to bite me. I'm going to remember these names. I will remember these names, and I will take a look at all of them come the regular season. But I think Winnipeg fans, we have a new player to add to this team, and his name is David Perron. I'm going to offer him $5.3 million. He's got no offers right now, and I've done it. You can't take it back now. So Perron, I will remember David Perron, I'll remember Jamie Benn, and I will remember Blake Wheeler and Nicholas Backstrom, okay? Those are like the 4 or 5 guys that I need to remember. And we're going to see where they go and what their overalls all end up being. Because I am worried, that's the one thing I'm most worried about, is that he's 37 and he could easily drop to 83 overall, right? And then that would be, maybe he doesn't get the same production. So we're taking a chance on him for sure. We are 1,000% taking a stab in the dark, taking a chance. We don't know. We don't know if he's going to drop to 83 overall, 82 overall, 80 overall. Could you imagine we paid $5 million for an 80 overall on our second line? Oh boy, the pitchforks would be coming out for my head, I'll tell you that. But either way, at least I do know that he's fairly safe. He's going to keep that defense. He's going to be able to play defense. That's the one thing that I can pretty safely say is he's going to have defensive awareness up there. And I think his offensive awareness will probably stay 85 or above, which is pretty nice. And he has 92 points, so come playoff time, hopefully he can produce for us. But that's the decision that I made. I know it's probably not the most popular decision, but I wanted to make some changes to this team, and I think we've done just that with picking up a guy like David Perron. So let's see what he decides to say. We're going to get some offers from the Chicago Blackhawks, the same offer 2 days in a row, and this could be the day where we find out if we signed him, and we did. He's extremely happy to accept the offer. The cash offer was most generous. It was quite easy to make up my mind about your offer. Well, thank you very much for the kind words, my friend. And now, something else that we have to do is, you jerk, Kyle Connor. He does not want to re-sign with us. Wow. How much does he want? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Kyle Connor wants $12 million. Okay. Okay, let's just pretend like we never saw that. At least Ville Heinola is being reasonable. And Adam Lowry? Yeah, Adam Lowry. Ooh, I might want to sign this contract right now. Our captain. Bring our captain back for 2 more years. At like, what's 85%? We can bring him back at like 2 years at like 1.5, but I think for our captain, we can go 2 years, 1.7 for Adam Lowry. I think that's a pretty good deal. Just bring him back. He's a great third line center for us, so I definitely like that deal. We also have Chaz Lucius, who we can sign to a contract. Chaz Lucius, you want the league minimum for 3 years? No, but that's cheese, man. See, that's the one contract that I don't like signing. Thank you, Chisholm. You finally came to your senses. Is a guy like Chaz Lucius, a young medium top six player. We know he can get the potential of getting up to like 83, 84, maybe 85 overall, maybe above that if he really goes off. So to sign him for 3 years at like league minimum would be a huge, unfortunate, something that I wouldn't want to do just to give us the best contract, right? Kyle Connor wants $12 million. Oh, Kyle Connor, how do you sleep at night knowing you're trying to destroy me like that? You're barely point per game. Anyways, let's just into the regular season. I will get the we're gonna get a game simulated here. You guys definitely deserve it after my, if anybody even watches this video, that would be a miracle because of how long I've been off the shelf for. But let's simulate to the next season. I will remember those names, the Jonathan Tases, the Blake Wheelers, the Nicholas Backstrom and Jamie Benn. Try to remember those guys, and I'll see you boys at the regular season, or not the regular season, but at the start of next season where I can show you the lines and things like that. So let's just cut over to it. Oh, and Adam Lowry did decide to renew his contract, so that is massive. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 3 Winnipeg Jets, and boy am I happy to see the things that I am seeing here. We have Kyle Connor, 91 overall, obviously. We know him. We love him. He's what did he get for us last year? 45 point score, 88 points. 45 goal score, excuse me, 88 points. Then we have Mark Scheifele, obviously, 89 points last year. Crazy year. And then Nikolai Ehlers, the new $8.95 million man. Nikolai Ehlers, you better live up to that contract, my friend, because you caused me a big pain in the offseason. Then, thank God, David Perron stays at 86 overall. So all of his stats remain the same. And then look who else jumped up to 86 overall is Cole Perfetti. He has 4-star defense, 4-star shooting, 4.5-star senses, and 5-star puck skills. It's really only his physical that's lagging behind, and his skating a little bit as well. But Cole Perfetti, that's a great jump up from him, from 84 to an 86 over the offseason. I will gladly take that. Then we have Brock Besser over here with 4-star shooting. Hopefully he can get some shots on net. And then look who decided to finally join us up here in the show. 80 overall, Chaz Lucius, 4-star shooting. He's got 98 discipline. Oh my goodness. So maybe he can be a penalty killer for us, except that obviously his defense is super low. But he can definitely be on that power play with those senses, that passing. Offensive awareness only 83, which I think is the stat that's dragging him down. I think if his offensive awareness was like 85, 86, maybe he could get like 40 points, 50 points. But at 83, it's just so low. Then we have Gabriel Velarde, who also went up to an 84 overall. So, we can always throw something like this, like some crazy lineup formation, like, I don't know, like this or something like that, where we now have like Chaz Lucius, Brock Besser, and Adam Lowry. Like these, like we can really switch up the lines. Perron also gets a +4 on the top line. So if we want to do something like this, even, there are really endless line combinations that we can do. But I'm gonna keep it how it was for now. Then we have the fourth line of Morgan Barron, Kupari, and Nino Niederreiter. On defense, you know them, you love them. They look the same as last year pretty much, with Josh Morrissey. Chris Tanev has dropped to an 82, so that's the one thing. Next year, we're going to have to get rid of Chris Tanev. 82 is, it's not quite good enough to play on the top line, but because of last year, I'm going to keep them together for now. Next line with Jonas Brodin and Esa Lindell gets a +2, so last year they had a 0. Jonas Brodin and Neil Pionk had a 0 last year. This year he's able to get that +2 with Esa Lindell. I'm expecting this line to be very good for us. After that, third line, Ville Heinola and Artem Kniazev, 82 and 81 overall. They do get the -1 overall on their D pairings, but that's okay. They're still good overalls for the third line. And then in between the goal, we've got Connor Hellebuck 91 overall still, so I'm really hoping that Connor Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele can both maintain their overalls for as long as possible, and they've been doing so far throughout this season, or sorry, throughout this GM mode. Let's go to the power play now. Ooh, okay, Brock Besser on the power play is interesting, but I think I would rather Cole Perfetti. Morrissey, Ehlers, Connor. Like, we could also do something really crazy where we get like, I kind of like David Perron on the other one though. I don't know. I do want Chaz Lucius on this power play unit though. So instead of Morgan Barron, we're gonna go with Chaz Lucius. Where is he? Here he is, Chaz Lucius. We'll go in here. Gives it a -2, but what are you gonna do? We also need a defenseman on the points. Jonas Brodin for the X factors. Yes. Okay. So that's just kind of like a cursory look at it. We can also always, you know, grab Nikolai Ehlers or something like that. But Perron actually fits it quite well. So maybe instead of you, we can put Nikolai Ehlers here. I don't know. Again, just really just like looking at things. I will keep it how it is for now. And I'll do all the rest of the lines. I'll show you guys the penalty kill actually. And then I'll do all the rest of the lines in, not my own time, but like, you know, I'll show you guys them when I finish them, all right? Okay, guys, so this is what the penalty kill is going to look like. We're going to have Adam Lowry with David Perron. Then we're also going to have Josh Morrissey and Jonas Brodin. So we've got some good overalls definitely on that first penalty kill unit. Penalty kill line 2 now will be Rasmus Kupar with Morgan Barron, Esa Lindell, and Chris Tanev. Liking that line. And then the third line, I'm going to give time to Velarde and Perfetti. And then Kniazev and Villahinola, obviously. Perfetti, because he's got 4-star defense. It's actually not bad at all. He's got 87 defensive awareness as well, so can definitely, you know, knows what's going on out there. He's got his head on a swivel, and he has 81 face-off, so actually he should probably be taking the face-off instead of Velarde. Yes, he should. And that'll give it a 0, actually, as well. So I'm definitely okay with these lines. And now we'll just do the 3-man penalty kill, which will be Lowry, Kupari, sure, and Morgan Barron. Why don't we do instead of, hang on, I'm just trying to collect my words here. Instead of Kupari on that third line, let's do Cole Perfetti. Just want to give the kid some time, you know? Maybe that's what's missing from his game. I don't know. Extra lines now will look like that. That's perfect. Yep, that's good as well. And sure, works for me. 3-on-3 now. Good. No. This will be, obviously, we will go Jonas Brodin here. And then the second, or the third unit will obviously be, everybody say it with me now, Esa Lindell, the new guy. So, interested to see what Esa Lindell can do for us. And I think that's everything. Extra attackers will be, yeah, I don't like having, this is the same as last year, I don't like having, Josh Morrissey as our extra attacker. I just don't like having defensemen as extra attackers. I don't think it really helps us out. This looks pretty okay. And scratched players I haven't shown you guys are Fialbi and David Gustafson. So nothing really to see there. I do want to go check in on Brad Lambert down in the AHL. Lambert up to a 78 overall with Fabian Wagner up here as well. I have to actually sign some players for this AHL roster. Like the bottom 6 is pretty rough, so I'll have to sign some guys for it because I forgot to do that. It always just fills it in with some like European bottom 6 type guys, so that's okay with me for now. Bauer, no. Okay, all right, so I will take care of the AHL. Don't you guys worry, but we're gonna get into some preseason and then some regular season matchups here. Alright guys, so I just simulated through the preseason where we went 5-1-1. I've also done my scouting and things like that. And now, I think those lines were pretty good. 5-1-1's a pretty good record, so we're going to keep them for the first game of the regular season where we take on the New Jersey Devils, baby. I do have to change the AHL lines though, so I'm going to go do that right now. Okay guys, so I did just do the AHL lines real quick. I'll just show you Brad Lambert is on the first line, first unit power play, and then obviously on our 3-on-3 lines as well. So that's basically all we really care about down there is Brad Lambert. And now, excuse me, my voice is starting to go. I'm not used to commentating this much anymore, but here we go. First game up against the New Jersey Devils. Let's make sure that Connor Hellebuck is in the net for this one. And let's get a good start to the year here. I'm thinking about simulating about, I don't know, maybe a month of simulation in or something like that, just to give you guys a little fix after, abandoning you. Anyways, I'll stop that joke from coming out, but after abandoning you guys, I will try to give you guys a good month or so of simulation in here. And it all starts with game number 1 in Winnipeg, taking on the New Jersey Devils. So let's get this show underway. First period, 1-1. All right, Dougie Hamilton scores, and Billy Hinola, 2 defensemen, getting goals for their respective teams. Shots in our favor, almost doubling their shots. Let's keep it together, Connor Hellebuyck. Come on, baby. Second period now. That's what I'm talking about. 4-2 for the Winnipeg Jets as Mark Scheifele, Nino Niederreiter, and the new kid, Brock Boeser, gets his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet. Let's start that third period up. We got the good vibes rolling here. We have our power plays chipping in for some points. We have our third line chipping in for some points as well. Maybe that might have been Chaz Lucius' first career point on that Nino Niederreiter goal, so that would be super cool if it was. I'm not sure exactly. Obviously, I can't tell assists and things like that. But after that, it seems like we're going to shut the door on the third period, and we take that one 4-2, with the 3 stars of the night being Brock Boeser with 2 points in his first game as a Jet. Nino Niederreiter continues what was a good season last year, and then Connor Hellebuyck. Obviously, we want to keep that pace if we can, Connor. So good stuff out of the first game. Let's continue now and start some calendar simulation here. I'll go week by week, like the olden days, I suppose. And we have a trade incoming, and why would I ever do that? That's a horrible trade. All right, that's a loss to Seattle, and then a win against Pittsburgh. So 2-1, pretty good so far. Let's keep it going here. Another win, then a loss, then a win. Okay, 4-2-0. We will take that. Big wins here, 7-1 and 4-1. Big wins. Close loss, but that happens every once in a while. Remind me, who did we lose against last year? It was the Anaheim Ducks. Whenever we see Anaheim, let's make sure we go in there. We can also go and see the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers if we see them as well. But let's get to... Let me see. Do we have a game on the 9th? No, we don't. So let's go see Arizona, considering that's when I have to do the scouting. And then if we're still playing well, we can call it there. 4-3 and oh, okay, hang on. A little bit of a losing streak here. Hang on. 5-5 and 0. That means we're out of a playoff spot in our division, but still early. Let's simulate to the Arizona game, but I'm going to keep a close eye on this. That's a win, 6-5 and 0. Okay, 7-5 and 0. So we bring ourselves back above 500, 7-5 and 0. Let's see what's been going on here these last few games. And okay, that second line. Oh yeah, baby. That second line is clicking, it looks like. So that's beautiful. Okay, first line, how are you doing? You got 11 points in 12 games. You got 9 points in 12 games. And you got 8 points in 12 games. You're -2, Nikolai Ehlers. Okay, David Perron, you got 14 points. Cole Perfetti got 12, and Brock Boeser has 14 as well. So that second line is clicking very, very well. Third line now, 9 points for Gabriel Velarde, 6 points for Adam Lowry, and 4 points for Chaz Lucius. Okay, not bad, Chaz. I want to try to see a little bit more out of you, but you've got a power play goal, so not going to complain too much. And then the fourth line of Morgan Barron, Rasmus Kupari, and Nino Niederreiter. Nino has 3 goals. They're only -1 as well, so it's not bad. Okay, I'm liking it so far. I just need more out of the first line. I need the first line to stop letting the puck go in the net, and that's really all. What about defense here? We've got to keep a close eye on Chris Tanev. You're +3. Chris Tanev is +2 with 5 points. Okay, Chris Tanev doing his thing. I'm not mad about that whatsoever. Second unit is also doing very strong, so it must be the third unit. Yeah, but even them, they're even and plus. So it's just the first and the fourth lines, eh? That's kind of how it seems. The first line, they're basically even, and then the fourth line's also even. The second line and third line are doing very well in my not so professional opinion. So we're gonna get to this last game here of the... Oh, I guess I do have to throw in... I put Connor Hellebuyck in, but I forgot it was a back-to-back. So I will have to put in Laurent Brossoit. So let me do that real quick. And this will be the final game of the video here for the 13th game of the season. Let's see if we can end it off on a very positive note. I would love to see that. David Perron continuing his good streak there. Come on, power play. No, it doesn't go anywhere. They have a power play now, and they're going to score on it. Kevin Labanc. Okay, first period ends 1-0. Shots even, score in their favor. Second period now, 2-0 as Connor Brown puts another one past Laurent Brossoit. Come on, boys. Let's go here. We can't get shut out by the Arizona Coyotes, can we? And obviously, you know, looking for your suggestions and things like that, but still remember, it's still very, very early on in the season. In the next episode, I'll probably go to the trade deadline, so keep that in mind. We don't need to make, you know, franchise-altering moves here in this one, because I will be giving you an opportunity to chime in on some suggestions in the next video as well. Frederik Andersen, wow. They have Frederik Andersen in Arizona. Okay, fair enough. I guess if one Leaf didn't go, then I guess another one will. Hey, if you know, you know. Okay. Either way, Perron still with 14 points. We are just outside of a playoff spot. We're about 1 point out of a playoff spot, so not really too worried about it right now. Still very, very early on in the season, obviously. But I am a bit, you know, a bit saddened by the fact that we're not dominating like we were last year, right? Definitely bit more of losing streak, winning streak type thing. But now, you guys know what we do here. We always like to check the trade block. So let's see who's available on each team. We will sort by overall. We've got Dominic Kubalik, Alex Killorn, and Matt Duchene out here in Anaheim. The defending Stanley Cup champ. Oh, no, sorry. They went to the Stanley Cup final. They are the team that kicked us out. In Arizona, Andrew Kopchak, DeBrusque, Connor Brown, Victor Olofsson, Mason Appleton. A lot of depth pieces there. But again, I'm liking our middle six, so not looking to make changes to it really. These two last teams just with some prospects. Over here, Tyler Myers, Ian Cole. Tyler Myers could be a good depth defenseman for us, potentially. Seth Jones in Chicago, Brock Nelson, Andrei Kuzmenko. So they have really shaped this Chicago team around Connor Bedard, obviously. But they've really brought some good pieces in with Tyler Toffoli, Kuzmenko, and Brock Nelson, Lucas Reichel up to an 86, Taylor Radish up to an 85. I mean, they've got a good team out there in Chicago, so definitely got to be worried about them. Colorado with some prospects, Columbus with Zach Werenski, Boone Jenner, Jack Roslovic. All right, fair enough. Dallas, I believe this was their like 7th overall selection here. Carl Trigg has a 77 overalls on their block, a playmaker. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Detroit now with JT Compher, Lehkonen, Gostisbehere, Ryan Strome, Oliver Shillington, Mark Giordano. Jacob Middleton, okay. Justin Hall, Nick Bonino. Okay, all those guys down there. Edmonton Oilers have some prospects. Florida Panthers with some prospects. The LA Kings have Philippe Danault, Evgeny Dadanov, Dennis, Derek, oh my gosh, Derek Forbort, Oscar Lindholm, Will Butcher. The Wild have Joel Eriksson Ek, Vladimir Tarasenko on the Wild, okay. Zuccarello, Gord, Foligno, and Goudreau. The Montreal Canadiens with Brendan Gallagher. Nashville with Adam Larson, Ryan McDonough, and Jacob Lauzon. Prospects here. Islanders with prospects. Rangers with prospects. Sens with Artem Zub, and then some prospects. Philadelphia Flyers with Max Domi, who we were definitely looking at. Also Teddy Bluger and Jason Dickinson. Okay. Pittsburgh Penguins with Oli Mata, San Jose Sharks with some prospects, Seattle Kraken with Vince Dunn, Jamie Alexiak. Okay, Jamie Alexiak's interesting. Colton Parayko, and then Mackey and Kovacevic. St. Louis have Braden Shen, Victor Arvidsson, Kevin Hayes, Radko Gudas, Alex Edler, Kyle Ekpa. A total fire sale in St. Louis here. Tampa Bay with some prospects, Toronto with some prospects, Vancouver with some prospects, Vegas with William Karlsson, interesting, Palmieri, Roy, Kapanen, Jimmy Vesey, Vinny Hinostroza, and then some other guys down there. And then last but not least, the Washington Capitals with a few depth pieces. So those are what the blocks look like. We don't need goalies. I won't check goalies. But that's what the blocks look like. Let me know if you guys saw anything interesting there. Again, still very early. I will give you guys a chance at the trade deadline as well. I will stop the next video there. So do not be scared by saying something like, oh, yeah, you know, still pretty early. Write it out a few games. Then if we need some changes, we can stop it there. What else did I want to see? Yes, that's right. I want to go and find these players that I was looking at before. So, Jonathan Toews, let's take a look for him first. So, Toews really said if you can't beat him, join him. And he joined this powerhouse Anaheim Ducks team with Leo Carlsson, Zegras, Terry, Kubalik, Reinhart, Ryan Hartman, and then Killorn. Jonathan Toews and Mason McTavish. Crazy offensive core here in Anaheim. Defensively, even amazing as well. Minchikov, Drysdale, Zellweger, Lacombe. Okay, so the first pair is very good. After that, kind of falls off a little bit. They have Nicholas Backstrom on their defensive core. That must be because they have an injury, right? Yeah. They have Matthew Shane and Henry Jokiharju both injured. So Backstrom, another forward they can add to their offensive or their forward core there. Nicholas Backstrom, who we were also looking at, is in Anaheim. So that's pretty interesting there. So they have a very, very strong forward core for sure, and Jonathan Toews and Nicholas Backstrom definitely found a strong home. Okay, Jamie Benn is out here in the New York Islanders organization. He's got 5 points in 9 games as well, so pretty good season so far out of Jamie Benn. The Islanders look okay as well, maybe, yeah, probably a playoff team here. Pretty good defense, and Jean-Gabriel Pageau is at an 86, so they're destined for greatness. And then finally out here is Blake Wheeler, who joined the Toronto Maple Leafs alongside, obviously, Mitch Marner, Matthews, John Tavares. No William Nylander, so I will have to maybe check out where he went, but Blake Wheeler still at an 85 overall. So all the people that we were looking at maintained their overall out here. So I'm not too disappointed by my decision. Actually, I'm very happy with my decision because David Perron was having an amazing year. Let me check where William Nylander went, though. And Nylander in free agency, I guess, decided to take his talents to the San Jose Sharks, where they have a very strong top line. And then after that, not too much going on down there. Defense still lackluster, and goaltender Linus Ullmark. Okay, so, or Linus Ullmark, excuse me. So they've got a good goalie, they've got a good top line, but other than that, San Jose still kind of lacking a little bit. But my friends, again, I do want to thank you guys if you've made it this far. This video has been long. It's taken me about 2.5 hours to record it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I promise that I'm going to try to get some more videos out to you guys a bit more frequently here. It's just, you know, with my finals in the last week of school and then Christmas and some other things happened in my personal life and things like that that we don't have to get into. But just want to thank you guys for being here and showing the support. If you do, and if you don't, that's totally fine as well. I definitely understand where you come from. I've been haven't been on my game recently, so I appreciate all the love if it comes, and if it doesn't, that's totally understandable. No need to worry about it. Don't feel obligated to do anything, to comment or to like or anything like that. I have not earned them this month, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out. Let me know who you guys want to see me pick up in the next episode as well, if there was anybody there interesting in the trade blocks or anything like that. Always love to hear your thoughts and opinions and things like that, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Peace out.